Hi, my name is Robert Ellis, and I'm director of the Institute for Leadership Studies.
And I'm Chris Curran, author of Leap Beyond Your Limits.
And there's a scholar, Hungarian scholar, who came up with a typology of what it takes to be a genius, and it's real easy. It only consists of three things. One is you need some talent, and you need an IQ of about 120. Having an IQ of 130 or 140, 150 doesn't make any difference. Then you need mastery of what he calls a domain. That could be literature, that could be art, that could be music. That normally takes at least 10 years. That's why Mozart could play piano and compose so well at the comparatively young age of 14, because he had put in his 10 years when he was only 4 years old. So that's two. Here comes the wild card. And the wild card is the reaction you get from critics. It's like the old canard. What happens if a tree falls in the wilderness and nobody hears it? Creativity is like that. Other people have to hear it. And unless you're recognized by the critics as a creative person, in essence, you're not creative at all. So you need all three things together. You need the talent, you need the discipline, and you also need the reaction from the critics. But as I said at the beginning, don't worry about a thing. You're all geniuses. You just don't know about it. You were a genius when you were born. You probably stayed a genius up until 7 years old before school got a hold of you, and then somehow you lost it. If you get that childlike quality back, and you begin to ask what adults think are silly questions, like, what is blue? Well, what is blue?
Good question.
Well, the answer is really simple. Blue is a microwave formation that circulates at a certain speed. And if it circulates at that speed, it's blue, and if it's elongated, it becomes a different color. Do you have a piano?
I have a keyboard.
You have a keyboard. If you had a regular piano, do you have to get it tuned every once in a while?
Yes.
The way a piano tuner tunes the piano is he has a tuning fork. Boom! And that's A sharp. And he tries to match boom of the tuning fork with the A sharp. How do you define an A sharp? What makes an A sharp different from a C? The A sharp tuning fork is going at exactly 440 cycles a second. That's what makes it an A sharp. That's what makes the difference between the color blue and the color red. Now, if a grown-up were to ask this question, nobody would take him seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what creativity is. And you don't have to be a genius to be creative. There are lots of geniuses that are not creative. There are lots of creative people that aren't geniuses. The cutoff point seems to be about 120 IQ.